All right, in this problem, we're being asked to find the area of the trapezoid. And we'll start by writing down the equation for the area of a trapezoid. I like to put a little notation on the bottom of that variable just to remind us. And it's 1/2 the sum of base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Now, we're already given some information. We're given what we might call base 2. We are not given base 1. Because base 1 would be side AC. So it's the segment AC. And the height is 4.5. Now we could use a formula directly. It, I think, is also worth noting that we have a segmented trapezoid, which what I mean by that is that it's actually made up of 3 parts. And we could, instead of using the formula, just use the 3 parts. And I think I'm gonna do it both ways. But regardless, we still need to figure out what this length is. And also what this length is. We need those to figure out what base 1 is because we already know that this is 7 from here to here. And then we can decide, as I said, whether we want to get each piece alone and then add them up or use a formula. I'm going to show you how to do it both ways. So let's go ahead and try to figure out what this length here is, which I suppose we can name it. If we've got A, B, C, D, let's call this E and F just to help us a little bit. So let's try to get CF, length of segment CF. And notice that we have a right triangle here. So then it might also be obvious to you that this is 4.5 because this is 4.5. And so CF squared plus 4.5 squared is 12.5 squared. I didn't say this immediately, but it was real obvious to me to use Pythagorean theorem. It may have become obvious to you pretty quickly. So I'm going to take 4.5 and multiply it by itself, 4.5, or just say 4.5 squared, that's 20.25. I'm doing it with a calculator. I'm doing that with a calculator off screen. And then I've got 12.5 squared, which is 156.25. And I've got CF squared. So there is quite a bit of work, but I would say most of the work is um, kind of at the knowledge level of difficulty. So it's not real in-depth conceptual work. Let me just double check something. Okay, so 156.25 minus 20.25. You almost could do that without the calculator. And so that leaves us with, if we take the square root of both sides, 11.66. So we have to follow the same type of process for getting AE. So I'm going to come over here and do this. AE squared plus 4.5 squared is 9.2 squared. So that's AE squared plus 20.25, same answer. And 9.2 squared, let me see what that is. 84.64. So subtracting 20.25 on both sides. Let's see what we get. So it was 84.64 minus 20.25, and I'm getting 64.39. And then I'm going to take the square root of that, which is 8.02. Okay, so now I've got 8.02, and it's getting a little messy. So it might be worth putting some boxes around things. We need this 8.02, 11.66, and then there was a 7 there. All right. So let me go ahead and just make a little bit of space here because we don't need this anymore. So now I know that it's 1/2, and my base 1 is 11 0.66 plus 7 plus 8.02, which is 26.68. We want to add 7 to that and then divide it by 2. So we're at 16.84. And one more step, multiplied by 4.5. It's 75.78. Okay, so as a check, let's see if we can get the area of the blue piece, which is 11.66 times 12.5 divided by 2 plus 7 times 4.5. That's the orange part. Plus, oh, and I think I made a slight error here. This is just 4.5. Because it's this length that we need. There's another 4.5 here and an 8.02. We're going to divide that by 2. And again, it's somewhat tedious work. But not extremely complex. And I'm just going to move it there just because that seems to be where I might have some space. All right. And then, so let me just take a quick calculator check. So 11.66 times 4.5 divided by 2. That is 26.235. And then I've got 8.02 times 4.5 divided by 2. That's 18.045. And then we've got the 7 times the 4.5. 31.5. So hopefully they'll add up and we'll get the same answer that we got with the other method. 26.235 plus 31.5 plus 18.045, and I get 75.78. And I know I did the calculation off camera, but hopefully you trust that I got the same answer as I assure you I did.